How's it going, guys? Cody back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, it's like 20 past 1 now, Sunday morning. Wasn't really planning on doing a video particularly, but I'm waiting for the boxing to start on Sky Sports box office. 2 a.m. my time here in Manchester, England. You've got Billy Joe Saunders defending his title. You've also got Devin Haney defending his world title. And then you've got KSI versus Logan Paul, two massive YouTubers. So for those that follow me on my Twitter and my YouTube, I put a post out earlier on my community on YouTube, and I also put out a couple of tweets. This afternoon, sat there watching the football scores come in, minding my own business. My phone rings. I had 3 missed calls, right? And it was from a serving prisoner at Forest Bank. And he just wanted to let me know that on E-Wing within the prison, E-Wing is E1 particularly, is the induction wing. He just wanted to let me know there'd been a very serious assault, serious assault of a prisoner by other prisoners on the induction wing, which is, like I said, E1 at Forest Bank. Forest Bank, it's a Cat B prison, my old prison, ran by those jokers, Sodexo Justice Services. Holds about 1,460 prisoners, and it's a Category B jail. I used to be on E1 when E1 was induction wing, then I got security moved to F1, and then obviously I was on G2 when G2 was induction, on H1 when H1 was induction, and now he's back on E1. And I was obviously clean on my last stretch. Well, yeah, apparently this prisoner, I don't know the prisoner's name actually, but the prisoner in question was serving his sentence at Risley, which is a Cat C in the northwest. He was then security moved to Forest Bank, so he lost his Cat C, was security moved to a Cat B, and he was attacked this afternoon. Now, apparently, it was in a really bad way, and there was blood, thick blood, coming from his ears. Now, that is a sign of, it could be brain hemorrhage, it could be brain trauma, it could be a brain injury, but significant, like head injuries, to be bleeding, thick blood coming out of your ears. The prisoner had to be actually airlifted to hospital. Now, like I say, this is a general population prisoner, so I'm praying for this kid. I hope he pulls through. Someone told me that the kid was bad on the spice. Like I said, it'd be wrong to speculate as to the reasons why he was attacked. Obviously, debt could be one, but like I said, I'm not going to speculate. My thoughts and prayers are with his friends and his family at this time. I don't know the seriousness of his injuries, but when you are airlifted out of a prison after being attacked, it's that golden hour, isn't it, where you've got to get that person into a hospital within that 60 minutes. And like I said, they probably flew him to a head injury trauma place. Now, we know that prisons are violent. We know that we're seeing record levels of violence in our prisons. We're seeing record levels of self-harm. Eventually, we're going to see record levels of suicide, sadly and tragically. I don't want that to be the case, but the criminal justice system, or the criminal abuse system, as I call it, is broken. Every story that seems to be coming out at Forest Bank at the minute, for the past year or two, minus 1 or 2 stories, through my prison contacts, I'm getting these stories out, and it's not about me. And the reason, you might think, well, Cody, why are you taking such an interest in Forest Bank recently? Now, the reason is, right, a few months ago, I tried to go on a visit a young offender that's within the prison, whose brothers and sisters were tragically murdered in an arson attack, which left a 15-year-old Demi, 8-year-old Lachey, 8-year-old Brandon, 7-year-old Lachey, 2-year-old Leah, dead, and Michelle, the mother, left with 75-degree burns. She fought ferociously for 19 months before sadly and tragically passing away not so long ago. And I always wanted to go and see the kid on a visit. I know his dad, through being in prison, provided security at the funerals of the children with Stephen French, reform gangster Stephen French, a friend of mine. But I went to the visit to try and get in on a visit. Right now, I know the score about ripped jeans and what you are and are not allowed to wear. I've rocked up in some River Island ripped effect, not ripped, just ripped effect. They look distressed, right? And they wouldn't let me into the jail. And the 4 officers that were on reception that day on the visits that wouldn't let me in, even through the first stage, I walked away. I spoke to somebody. I got all their names. I didn't kick off. There was females. Security was standing up, like looking, because the security office was just like double, like they were behind the glass. I was just told them to fuck off. I was ready for rumbling that day. It really was. So after that, I just thought, you know what? That you want to play the dickhead because I speak up for prisoners, I speak up for prisoners' families, and they know exactly who I am and what I do. And they didn't like it, and they didn't want to let me in the jail, and that was the perfect excuse not to. Now, a red badge came down. A red badge is an SO, a senior officer, and said, look, you're right, you blah, blah. She was cool. And I walked away, and I lost face, and it was the end of it. But then I just thought, you know what? I'm going to up my game with Forest Bank, so that's exactly what I've done. I get outstaffed corruption, deaths in custody, sadly and tragically, just blowing the lid off the jail. The fact is, Forest Bank is badly run from the top, and the governor, Matt Spencer's got a lot to answer for. I know personally that corruption, he has made, paperwork has gone missing on his watch because he just wants to stay in post so that he can then retire to Italy, and because he wants to buy a retirement home in Italy, and that's his aim. And he will do anything to stay in position and stay in power. He's out of touch, he's out of sync, and the jail's badly run from the top. Formerly, there used to be some very good prison officers in Forest Bank. I believe a lot of them have left. They've replaced them with kids, young kids, 18, 19, 20 years old, no life experience. Corruption is rife. Example, on the 13th of November, another 4 prison officers, another 4 to go with the last 3 that got done for stealing 100 grand worth of stuff. These 4 allegedly, got to use that word, Paul Hewitt, Aidan Bligh, I think it's Samantha Bligh, who's obviously his wife, and another unnamed prison officer. No, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Well, they're up next week. I don't know if it's trial or sentence, I'm not sure. It's been kept pretty quiet. I found out. I've run to all my prison contacts to tell them, because I get told about prisoners slashing and attacking prison officers every day of the week, pretty much. Every other day, once a week, a few times a week. I'm not interested in those stories, guys. I'm for prisoners. And while the Prison Officers Association are beating their drum about arming prison officers with tasers, I am a very small voice for prisoners and prisoners' families. I don't get paid for what I do, and I keep doing it. Things going on at Forest Bank Prison, though, were absolutely unbelievable. The prisoner I spoke to today was a serving prisoner. Gets out in a few weeks. I'm going to get him on the channel. We're going to talk jail. This kid's done a lot of jail. Let me get this beard out of my mouth. This lad's done a lot of jail. He's a safe lad. And yeah, just stories I'm getting stories out of that prison every which way. A prisoner's mother, serving prisoners, and other means as well, which I can't go into on this channel. But yeah, just my heart and prayers go out to the prisoner that was attacked. I don't want anyone dying in prison. I don't, unless it's a nonce or a rapist or a child murderer or a grass. I've got no issue, right? I don't want people leaving prison in body bags. And like I said, we know what goes on with debt and violence and fear, bullying, intimidation, and we know that prisoners are lawless. But for a prisoner to be attacked in this way and have to leave in an air ambulance, you know it's a serious situation. Now, like I said, I've gone to my media contacts, local, televised, so like the local news, tabloids, go national. I put it out on my Twitter, I put it out on my community, just to let people know. Then what will happen, the stories will hit the paper, they go to the press office, they'll go to Greater Manchester Police, and they'll say, can you confirm there was an incident at Forest Bank today? Well, yesterday now, because we're after midnight. So it took place on Saturday. I think the prisoners were locked up from about 1 p.m. onwards, so the attack might have happened at 1:45, 10:01, 5:01. But as soon as it came to light, the prisoners were locked up. Common practice. And obviously when someone's airlifted out of the prison, that wing can potentially be, it could be potentially a fatal, which means that obviously they've got to put provisions in place because it's technically a crime scene, so they can't have people walking through crime scenes where there's blood and things like that, because forensics ends up getting scattered, and it's to preserve the crime scene for all intents and purposes. But yeah, I don't know where the prisoner was from, but like I said, he was shipped in, security move from Risley prison to Forest Bank, which is, so he's gone from a Cat C to a Cat B. And yeah, he was attacked this afternoon. And the blood coming out of his ears was apparently really thick, and like prisoners were like I don't know if he's going to make it, sort of thing. It's that sort of situation. Like I say, it's another nail in the coffin of Forest Bank. And I'm going to keep hammering these nails in as well, guys. Any little story you get, if you've got someone in that jail, please reach out to me and we'll get the stories out. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think about the video. My thoughts and prayers go out to the prisoner that's been attacked. Like I say, people, for every action there is a reaction, and there are consequences for people's actions. And like I say, we don't know why this prisoner's been attacked, but I hope to God, whatever his condition is, I hope he pulls through. Just a nice thing to say, guys. Going to leave it there. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.